Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Securities and Exchange Commission of Nigeria, the Central Bank of Nigeria, the Federal Ministry of Trade and Investment, and the Federal Ministry of Finance, I welcome you. Well, Your Excellencies, before we start, let me welcome very quickly some of our very distinguished guests that are already here. I'd like to welcome here in our midst a worthy elder statesman, former president of Nigeria. Please welcome His Excellency Alhaji Shehu Shagari Jesse. Welcome. And also here this morning, let me welcome the chief servant of Niger State, the apostle of servant leadership, Dr. Muazu Babangida Aliyu. I welcome you. Also here in our midst, I'd like to welcome the Honorable Minister of Trade and Investment, Dr. Olusegun Aganga. I welcome you. Let me also welcome here the Honorable Minister of Power, Professor Bart Naji. I welcome you. Also in our midst this morning, let me welcome the Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Malam Sanusi Lamido Sanusi. I welcome you. I'd like to also welcome here a former governor of Kwara State and now a senator of the Federal Republic. Please welcome distinguished Senator Bukola Saraki. I welcome you. I'd like to welcome all the other members of the National Assembly that are here present. Let me welcome very specially the very hard-working and dynamic Director General of the Securities and Exchange Commission of Nigeria. Please welcome Ms. Aruma Ote. I'd like to welcome all of you, stakeholders in Nigerian capital markets, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Today is indeed a very wonderful day as we commence our journey into 50 years of capital market regulation in Nigeria. 50 years of developing a vibrant market. 50 years of bolstering investor confidence. 50 years of carving out boundless opportunities in the market. 50 years of governmental intervention that ensured integrity and robustness. Nigeria, our beautiful Nigeria, is indeed the jewel in the crown of Africa's economy. With a large market of over 160 million people, abundant resources that covers oil and gas and solid minerals, political stability, free market economy, the free flow of investment capital, attractive incentives, fast-growing financial sector, skilled and low-cost labor, favorable policy, Nigeria is indeed Africa's foremost business destination. It's therefore on that note that I welcome all of you. But to actually welcome us very formally is a woman, I'm not sure she has slept, that has worked so hard to ensure we have a wonderful show today. But before I invite her, let me just say a few things with your agreement. Today on this program till evening, we are going to be live on television, both CNBC and NTA. And therefore, probably we all agree here that we cut down on protocols. What I've done here, every other speaker that comes on will just go on with the business of the day. Also to help us, we have a timer here that will time everybody as we mount the podium. And so with your permission, let me now invite the Director General of SEC, Ms. Aruma Ote, to welcome all of us.
Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the sponsors of this event, the Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Trade and Investment, Central Bank of Nigeria, and the Securities and Exchange Commission, I would like to welcome you to this event, which launches our year-long program to commemorate 50 years of capital market regulation. Nigeria's journey on capital market regulation began on the 31st of October, 1962, when the Central Bank of Nigeria inaugurated the Capital Issues Committee with the mandate to examine applications of companies seeking to raise capital from the market. The committee subsequently became the Capital Issues Commission in 1973 and was later superseded by the Securities and Exchange Commission, which was of course established by His Excellency President Shehu Shagari starting in 1980. And we, the partners, are honored, sir, that you're able to join us today. On the 31st of October 2012, it will be 50 years since this journey of capital market regulation started. To commemorate this milestone in our evolution, we're embarking on a year-long series of commemorative activities targeted at positioning Nigeria in its pride of place as the preferred investment destination. The series of programs titled Project 50 commences today with this flagship event. Indeed, Project 50 is an opportunity for us to showcase the centrality of the capital markets in the orderly development of the Nigerian economy. Let me start by saying that the far-reaching effects of the global financial crisis, while difficult for Nigeria, as with other countries, has highlighted the fundamentals that position Nigeria as the preferred investment destination. First, Nigeria has enjoyed political stability since the return of democracy in 1999. In addition, the macroeconomic reforms embarked on since 2003 has engendered an enabling environment for economic growth. Nigeria is, of course, now considered one of the fastest growing economies in the world, with an average GDP growth rate of 8.5%. Nigeria has one of the 10 highest real income per capita growth rates in sub-Saharan Africa, and an indicator, of course, of increasing purchasing power of what we now know is about 160 million people. Equally important are the huge investment opportunities in agriculture, infrastructure, oil and gas, natural resources, and many other sectors of the economy. This is even more so now than ever before, given the Nigerian government's commitment to address the infrastructure deficit, notably power, reverse import dependency, and unleash the potential of its people. We do believe that these apparent gaps in themselves present huge opportunities for the discerning investor. The ongoing financial sector reforms have engendered what we believe is a better capitalized and more stable financial sector that is strong enough to provide robust financial intermediation and support Nigeria's position as the preferred investment destination. With respect to the capital markets, the SEC has, in the past 2 years, invested significant resources in catalyzing its transition to a world-class capital market. In the first instance, we undertook a diagnostic review of the capital market and have been implementing reforms in line with the recommendations of this review. Consequently, we've improved our enforcement regime. This has resulted in higher levels of compliance and eliminated improprieties. We have strengthened market rules and regulation with the introduction of new rules and the amendment of existing ones. One of such is the introduction of margin guidelines together with the central bank, designed to curb excessive risk-taking by operators. We have addressed gaps in corporate governance with the introduction of the Code of Corporate Governance effective 1st of April this year. The new Code of Corporate Governance has been adjudged as comparable to internationally accepted codes. In addition, we're facilitating a seamless transition to risk-based supervision and are working closely with public companies to ensure that they're able to transition to international financial reporting standards next year. These, we believe, will ensure adequate and timely disclosure of information, thereby promoting market integrity. Currently, we believe that about 5 million Nigerians out of our 160 million people are those that are the only ones that are invested in the Nigerian capital markets. We do believe this is an opportunity for us to start to understand the importance of savings, the benefits of savings and investing, and of course the risks of savings and investing. We believe it's also an opportunity for the fund management industry and that it will further institutionalize the Nigerian capital markets. Next, I'd like to highlight some of the issues related to our flagship stock exchange, the Nigerian Stock Exchange. As you would have seen over the last 2 years, the leadership of the Nigerian Stock Exchange has been strengthened with the appointment earlier this year of a new CEO, Mr. Oscar Onyema, and a new executive director. The new NSE team has outlined a bold vision to build a credible market based on 5 products: equities, fixed income, exchange-traded funds, options, and financial futures over the next 5 years. They expect that these products will enhance liquidity and market depth and lead to a robust market that will have a market capitalization of $1 trillion by 2016. The Commission believes that demutualization of the Nigerian Stock Exchange will further strengthen the capital market. In this respect, the board of the Commission on the 22nd of September this year inaugurated an industry-wide committee to develop a roadmap for the demutualization of the exchange. In addition to the foregoing, we've also within the Commission been trying to strengthen our own institution because we do believe that we can leverage technology better in a bid to strengthen the Nigerian capital market. We also believe that capacity is very, very critical. So we're investing in ourselves as a regulator, we're investing in the capital market operators, and of course, we're developing and enhancing our investor outreach program and investor education program such that the public can also be educated, because we do believe that the first line of defense in terms of managing the risks of investing in the Nigerian capital markets or any capital market is really knowledge. We're therefore delighted that the world has awoken to the huge opportunities in Nigeria. In addition, we believe that Nigeria has taken the bull by the horn and leveraged the financial crisis to lay the foundation for a world-class capital market, as we believe that you need a world-class capital market as a channel for the many investment opportunities that abound in Nigeria. The Investment Forum, as you'll notice from your programs, will feature 5 panels, namely the Economists Panel, the Regulators Panel, the Market Panel, the Opportunities Panel, and the Visioning Panel. The panel of distinguished economists will examine the Nigerian economy and offer their perspective on how Nigeria can actualize our shared vision of becoming one of the world's leading economies in 2020. The panel of regulators will outline the key elements of effective regulation and its role in building a leading economy. The market panel will discuss the essential aspects of market development, notably depth, breadth, liquidity, and market efficiency. The Opportunities Panel will offer an expose into the opportunities in various sectors of the economy, whilst the Visioning Panel will chart the trajectory of the capital markets in our bid to actualize Nigeria's vision of becoming one of the top 20 economies in the world. The day-long program will close with a premiere of Breeze, an SEC-sponsored Nollywood movie, which will highlight the merits of a culture of saving and investing. Over the course of the next 12 months, ending on the 31st of October 2012, we plan to share with the world the enormous potential of Nigeria on a sectoral basis, including agriculture, petroleum, power, information technology, and the creative industry, amongst others. On this note, ladies and gentlemen, I invite you to join us in not just today's event, but in the year-long commemoration of 50 years of capital market regulation in Nigeria, and more especially in understanding and tapping the opportunities that Nigeria has to offer as the preferred investment destination. I welcome you. Thank you.
Let's appreciate her one more time as she steps down from the podium. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, while the Director General of SEC was speaking, and she referred to the former President of Nigeria, Alhaji Shehu Shagari, regarding what he did, is actually the statement of Mervyn Evans that just quickly came to my mind when he said that the men who build the future are those who know that greater things are yet to come, and they will bring them about. The man said that the blazing sunshine of hope shines through them. And that's the kind of thing that shines through this wonderful nationalist and patriot, Alhaji Shehu Shagari. We appreciate you. And so, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, very quickly, let me invite here the Honorable Minister of Trade and Investment. Please welcome Dr. Olusegun Aganga.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to be a co-host of this August gathering. As most of you know by now, this is only a flagship event. The first in a long line of events marking the 50th year of capital markets regulation in Nigeria. Project 50, as this commemorative sequence of activities is called, is appropriately themed Nigeria, the preferred investment destination. This investment forum is a welcome event and very timely because our nation is ready to harness its huge potential. How do we intend to do this? When I assumed office as a Minister of Trade and Investment, I declared that we will gear our efforts towards attracting private capital to enable us to attain the rate of growth this government aspires to achieve. I did outline a number of priority areas to this effect. One is to create a conducive atmosphere for investment in the country by ensuring that our laws and policies are investor-friendly. Number two is that we will pay close attention to the sources of capital for investment, both within and outside the country. As you will agree with me, the Sovereign Wealth Fund is a potent pool of investable capital. We also have well over 2.2 trillion in pension funds, with a safe investment atmosphere assured. The potential of the pension fund is boundless. We have to proactively make sure that we unlock capital, go out and make sure that we get investments into our country. And to ensure this, Nigeria has embarked on reforms that will make this possible. These reforms include the investment climate reform, which addresses the business environment, security over assets and lives, and of course, the adoption of the International Financial Reporting Standards and the harmonization and building of strong, robust corporate governance across the board. The newly created Financial Reporting Council, which reports to my ministry, will not only ensure transparency, but will ensure that financial statements are reliable and contain information that will allow investors make informed decisions. We intend to invest such funds into the economy as it is practiced internationally, and we will go about it in a responsible way. In the areas of trade, we are reactivating our export and free trade zones. We are developing a healthy, strong, and medium enterprise sector. That is the greatest and the biggest employer of labor in every country. We are working on modalities on how to reduce cost of production. We are also working on backward integration programs that will ensure that some of the items imported today are no longer imported into the country within a time frame. The cement business in Nigeria is a good example of a success story, and we should leverage on that to improve the other sectors. For those who do not know enough about the cement factory, the cement sector, in 2002 we started the backward integration, and at the time the production in the country was about 2 million tons. In 2010, as a result of the backward integration policy of government, which was consistently applied, the level of production grew to about 10.8 million. We have capacity for another 6.8 million coming before the end of the first quarter. We hope that sometime next year, we will have the second, if not the largest, cement producing plant in the country. That is success. That is success, and that is a result of the implementation of the backward integration policy. Our industrial plan is based on areas where we have competitive and comparative advantage. We have an advantage in the area of agriculture with about 80 million hectares of land and only 40% of that cultivated today. That means that we have opportunity to grow agro-processing businesses. We have opportunity to grow agro-allied industries. In the area of mining, which we don't talk enough in this country, we have 33 different solid minerals in commercial quantity. We want to develop mining-related mining, but also mining-related industries like the cement industry. In oil and gas, we are the 7th largest producer of oil. We have the 8th largest reserve of gas, which means that we have a great opportunity to build a successful petrochemical sector. Those are the areas we'll focus on going forward. There are a lot of areas of partnership with international investors. For example, skills development. We understand the importance of a balanced economy, and that's what we intend to focus on going forward. In that vein, we will be concentrating on consumers. It is important to have a healthy demand strategy. So we are developing a credit guarantee scheme that will make it easier for consumers to buy made in Nigerian products. Again and again, I said Nigeria is investors' paradise of this generation. And many investors are beginning to understand and appreciate this fact. In fact, only last week, we took this message to Australia. And they now fully understand the opportunities and the investor-friendly environment which we have created. As a result, we have established an Australian-Nigerian Trade and Investment Council to help drive investments into mining, into agriculture, into energy, and into the financial services sector. We intend to adopt the same policy by setting up the same councils in about 7 other strategic countries. On our part, we assure you of policy consistency as an important tool for success in investment projects. It is my belief that this conference will do justice in showcasing Nigeria's huge potential and capabilities as a preferred investment destination. Finally, may I take this opportunity to congratulate the board of the SEC, Securities and Exchange Commission, and the management of the National Securities Exchange as we commemorate this 50 years of capital markets regulation. I think we're indeed lucky to have a visionary reformist Director General at the Nigerian Stock Exchange Commission in Ms. Aruma Ote. She has outlined what has been achieved over the last few years. And I'm indeed proud to be associated with her because I was her minister last year. Well done, Aruma. On the same note, I would like to congratulate the new, strong management of the Nigerian Securities Exchange, Mr. Oscar Oyema. He is indeed a very, very important recruit, new one. But he has started, I have absolutely no doubt, that between these two, we will create the capital markets that we deserve as a country. Thank you very much.
And so, Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, very quickly, let me invite a man that shares the same dynamism with the Director General of SEC, with the reforms that he had brought to bear on the Central Bank of Nigeria. Please welcome here Malam Sanusi Lamido Sanusi.
Your Excellencies, permit me to stand on already established protocols. I had a speech written talking about the Central Bank and SEC, but Aruma stole my speech. So I don't want to sound like I'm repeating what she said. I've had to jot down some notes because everything I was going to say she said. I don't know where she got a copy of it, but well, I mean, the only thing I will add is that the capital market, as we know, is critical to development. Every time we talk about Nigeria, we talk about infrastructure, we talk about power, we talk about refineries. I've got to ask the fundamental question: where do you get the long-term funding in local currency to finance those needs? And you've got to turn to the capital market. We've got over 2 trillion naira right now in pension funds, and those funds are not finding their way into infrastructure. You need the capital market to facilitate intermediation of those funds into these areas. What we've done in the central bank is to continue to work very closely with SEC under the aegis of the FSRCC to begin to reduce the opportunities that existed before for regulatory arbitrage. We've revised the universal banking model, the system where banks were one-stop shops and banks thought they were PE firms, venture capital funds, investment banks. That has been stopped now. And we think that by revising that model and breaking up the banks, we've created the space for the growth of real capital market institutions. We do need PE funds, we need venture capital funds, we do need strong and high quality advisory services, and we do need a vibrant capital market. And we need to take advantage of the pensions and insurance reforms to make sure that long-term savings are actually channeled into the capital market. One of the major sources of financial instability is that banks take on a huge maturity transformation risk, basically taking short-term current and savings accounts and using that to finance long-term assets. So to that extent, the SEC remains a major partner to the central bank, and the capital market is critical for financial system stability. we'll have a lot of time to talk about this at the regulators panel. We have the intimidating director, who's probably going to give us a very tough time in about an hour. I hope I have avoided sounding like someone repeating what Aruma has said, which she took from my speech. And I welcome you and look forward to an entertaining and interesting day. And yeah, thank you.
Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to especially welcome and apologize for not doing this earlier, the very humble and wonderful woman